Hey, everybody, and welcome. I am Tamara Rivas. Most of my friends call me Tam. Maybe by the end of this, we'll be friends and you'll start calling me Tam. But this is 10,000 Hours Later. It is a podcast for the spiritual entrepreneur, for the person who is looking for purpose and looking for joy in their work. I started this series because I wanted to tell my story. I wanted people to see how entrepreneurship really works. I wanted to talk about some of the things that, go on behind the scenes. I've worked in entertainment for over a decade. And in that decade, I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, but nobody knows who I am. Nobody, when you're behind the scenes, you're really behind the scenes. So now it's time to come in front of the camera and give you a little bit of what I do and how I do it. I currently work in TV and film, and I love it there. I'm never going back. I worked as a consultant for years and years and years. And once I crossed over into the TV and film world, I think it's a place where I want to stay. I come from humble beginnings. I always say I'm going from trailers to trailers because we started off in trailers in rural Alabama. And somehow I ended up in a lot of mansions. I've ended up in a lot of rich folks' homes. I've ended up doing a whole lot in this decade. But let's get into it. We're going to talk about it. Welcome. One of the hardest things about starting anything is actually starting. When I tell you I have started this thing and stopped, started again and stopped, had a studio all built out, had a whole little set built out, and I just could not get it going. I don't know what my problem was, but I just couldn't do it. So right now we are at my house. We are in my living room. I am with my people, and I'm just like, you know what? Let's get it done. No more delays. Let's tell the stories. Let's start where you are, and let's just give it to you raw. Give it to people really how it came, like how it's come to me. Uh, Hopefully you guys will be blessed by it. Hopefully you will learn something. Hopefully you can see that people are not just jumping from mountaintop to mountaintop, but there are a few valleys. There are a few things that you go through. So I'm glad you're here. Let me tell you how we ended up in my living room. So I reached out to a bunch of people, a lot of people I know in the industry, and I'm like, hey, I'm starting this podcast. I would love to have you on as a guest. Da 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 da. Everybody's like, yeah, sure. You get all of these people that agree to it at first, right? Then it comes time. You done paid the videographer. You done did all the things to set it up. And then it's like, something came up. I ain't gonna be able to make it. And I'll never forget. Matter of fact, Dom, who's the guy behind the camera right now, he called me one day. He was like, are you okay? And it was hilarious because I was so pissed. So I had set up this shoot. I was supposed to interview this lady that I had met on set, and I was like so excited about it. I've done all my research. I got my questions together. I'm like ready, right? Let's talk about it. I told her what the podcast was about. She was all on board. Come time for the actual day of, after she has confirmed, said okay. The day of, it was like, oh, I'm so exhausted. It's been a long couple of weeks. And I totally get it. I totally understand. People are busy. This is a strenuous industry. It requires a lot, it takes a lot out of you. But when you commit to something, you commit to something. So I'm just like, girl, I was mad. But I got over it and I said, you know what? Sometimes God will make situations come together the way that they should. Sometimes God will delay something because it's not the right time. Sometimes you get the no's that you need. And when I say that, her no turned into all of this. Her no actually made me go a little harder. It made me be like, you know what? I ain't got to do all of this. Let me just tell my stories first, and then we're going to get back to these other people at some point in time. So sometimes you have to just understand that a delay is not a denial. Sometimes God's protection is around you because maybe that wasn't the right person to talk to. Maybe that's not the best person for, entrepreneurship and giving a spiritual talk about the spiritual journey. Everybody ain't spiritual. So at some point, I think God just protects you from what's not for you. So that's how I tend to look at things nowadays. I just say, you know what? If it's for me, it's not going to miss me. And so here I am, 10,000 hours later. I have these trees in my backyard, right? And I planted like 5 trees. They are cypress trees and they're supposed to grow like 40 feet tall. These trees have been out there for years and baby, they are not 40 feet tall. So I bought them like already kind of mature. And so I had the guy come out and plant them. You know, he's fertilized them, he's put all the stuff down. I've been watering these trees, I've been taking care of these trees. The winds come and blow the trees down. I have somebody come out and put it back up. Baby, the trees have given me all kinds of stress, okay? And so I was sitting outside on my deck one day and I said, God, you know what? I'm just looking at these trees and they are not doing what they are supposed to do. And I swear I had a divine revelation. I looked over and there's a pot and I left some soil in this pot. And it was when I had this little garden and I was trying to try my green thumb, honey, that was a fail. But I had this pot over there and a seed must have grown in the pot. And there was a whole tree that is as tall as my house sitting on the side of the house. And I looked, I said, hey, these are all the trees that I spent money for. I planted, I watered, I took care of, and they're not doing what they needed to do. But here it is. I put a pot over here with some soil in it, and a whole tree grew out of that pot. And that just goes to say that I know a potter that can put you back together. I know a healer that can turn nothing into something. I know when God's hand is all over your life, and He has literally been all over my life for my entire life. So when I looked at that tree and I said, you know what? Sometimes you can put in the work, sometimes you can do all the things. Sometimes you can, be ready and anxious and want things to go a certain way, and then it just doesn't happen that way. That's kind of been my journey. It's been a little up, it's been a little down, but I looked over at that pot, a broken pot at that, with that seed in it, with nothing but soil, and I said, it's a whole tree growing, and that just goes to show that many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's God's purpose that prevails, and it's God that sends the increase. Wait on your increase.